11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. What a fight! I think we're gonna win it.
Juan, the Hispanic causing panic, Lascano.
What is going on, Spotify, iHeart listeners? This is the DStyleBoxing podcast numero 3. I'm being joined by the one and the only Tiara Brown. How you doing, Tiara?
I'm fantastic. Thanks for having me on the show.
For sure. Thanks for joining me. 17-0, 11 wins coming by way of a knockout. First thing I want to talk about is this. I noticed this. So, Boxrec has you as the Dark Menace, right? Is that your official? Is that the official nickname, or are you like Apollo Creed? Remember Apollo Creed had like 30 million nicknames?
Yeah. So I am the Dark Menace. I actually got that name from Patrice Harris when I lived in DC. It's funny that you mentioned Apollo Creed because he's actually the Midman in that movie, Big Boogie.
Okay.
Yeah, he gave me that name when I was a headbanger when I lived in DC for all those years.
All right.
But she's been asleep, you know. She's been asleep. I haven't really had to use her. She's like my alter ego.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you felt bad using it on the girls you've been fighting or something. Kind of like I'm gonna leave that.
Yeah. You know, it's kind of like I got a little soft, and then she showed up in Atlanta.
Okay. Yes. Now, first of all, you fought Gabriela Bovier from Argentina. How did it feel to finally fight in the States? It looks like you were since 2019. You hadn't fought in the United States.
Yeah, I haven't fought in the States since 2019. It was just fantastic, you know, that I actually got to see the fans from America, you know, that my family, a bunch of my friends came, and it was just awesome. Some of my friends from college were there. You know, it was just an amazing event other than going to another country for a stay busy fight and not knowing anyone. And, you know, it's just different to be in the States fighting. And I'm glad that my next several fights will be in the States so I can get this fan base in America.
Absolutely, 100%. I saw the pre-fight face-offs and weigh-ins, and you were handing her a neck brace. What's going on with that? Did she talk to you in English when you were facing off? Like,
No, she didn't really speak
okay,
English, but she knew what I was saying. I think
okay,
a neck brace must be universal because
it
she knew.
is.
And then, you know, we had a translator. So it was just all, you know, it was for the sport. It's pretty cool.
All right, okay. Well, good thing you didn't bring out the Dark Menace, as she would have been.
Yeah.
So, and you might have felt bad right now, like or something, you know. But look, I saw her credentials. I mean, she was, former world champion, had a lot of experience, if anything. And how did when you were in the ring with her, from what I saw, you outclassed her, but was it easier than you thought it was going to be, or like what? How
Yeah.
was it?
It was actually easier, yes, than I thought it would be. I know her credentials. I've seen all her fights. She's very game. She's very tough. I take my hats off to her because she was tough. You know, she took a lot of punches. Pretty sure she's probably still feeling them now, but she just kept coming. You know, she has a big heart. She's a warrior. But the fight was easier. I think I put on a boxing clinic, and like I said, I haven't fought in the States for so long that I wanted to show my skill. Like she barely touched me.
Yeah, I mean, and I looked through them. like all her losses, and she always managed to pull off a round against somebody or an even round or something, right? I
Right.
mean, you didn't drop one round on any of the scorecards, not on mine either. So there you go. Like it was a perfect game, I guess, like a perfect game. So there you go. So I gotta say, this wasn't an official eliminator to become the mandatory, or you still gotta do like another eliminator?
No, that was it. That was according to the WBC, I'm the official mandatory opponent for Skye Nicholson. However, I've seen on Twitter where she's saying she's getting ready to. I know she's fighting in July. However, I see now there's speculation, there's talk of her wanting to get it in with someone that's not me. And I think that's a disservice to the fans. The fans want me versus Skye. Why would you want to fight someone with way less fights than I have when you can fight me? I'm your mandatory. I'm your mandatory. Like there's no stop ducking. She said I was irrelevant. I wasn't ranked anywhere, and she said I was irrelevant. I'm ranked so low. Well, now I'm number one in America. I'm number 3 in the world. So how irrelevant am I? Skye, shout out to Eddie Hearn. You're doing a great job. But let me get at her.
Yeah. First of all, I don't understand this whole irrelevant thing. She's fighting a girl that like no one knows who she is. I mean, if you were irrelevant, then you would be the right opponent.
Right. I found it very distasteful and very disrespectful for the things that she said about me. Even my amateur career is better than hers.
Yeah.
So for her to just say I'm irrelevant, well, then let's fight. And then, people always send me, I'm not on Twitter much. I have a Twitter, but I don't really tweet a lot because sometimes I just don't know how to work it well.
Mm.
I love Instagram, but so people will send me stuff that she wrote on Twitter, like she wrote something about sending the clown to school. So I said, okay, I'm the clown. What time does school start? I'll pack my lunchbox, my Lunchable, and my juice box since you're gonna take me to school. Well, what's up?
Yeah, I love the banter. I'm not gonna lie, but like, and that's why you two should probably fight. But
Right.
so here's the thing. So let's talk about amateur career, right? Because I know she gets a lot of, and I remember when she turned pro, like, it was this kind of big, and it's because she signed with Matchroom, so it's a
Right.
big promotional company. So there was this big hoopla, like, oh, she was a Commonwealth gold medalist. Not like that is an accomplishment. I'm not going to say it's not,
It is.
right?
It's a
Well, for regular people like me, it's a big accomplishment, right? Now for you, you were a world medalist.
a
So
world gold medalist. I was the 3rd American in history to win the world gold medal. And at that time, I was on the team with Clarissa, Michaela, um, Franchon, Christina, and I was the only to win a gold, the ranking number 1 in the world. Still to this day, as a featherweight, I think there's never been another featherweight actually
that was
to
a
win the gold.
who's who of women boxers right there. So you win so you have that credential with you, and it's like, I mean, no offense, guy, but that I know, I don't think she ever won worlds.
She didn't.
I mean, it is what
But
it
I'm
is.
irrelevant, so hey, I'll take it. I'll be irrelevant. I'll be whatever. I'll be the clown. I can face paint. I'll be Harley Quinn back there. Isn't that Harley Quinn on your
That's Harley
picture
Quinn
back
right
there?
there.
I'll put on some face paint, a red nose. You can call me Rudolph if you like. If that's what it's gonna take to fight, then I'll be all hands on deck.
Well, look, at the end of the day, you were put in position now to get the right fight, to get an eliminator, now to become a mandatory. So hopefully all that plays out. Do you have confidence in the WBC here?
I do. Ever since I was a kid, actually, the WBC has been my favorite. It's like the belt to have. I know there's other sanctioning bodies, but it's just I don't know. Growing up, that WBC belt, I wanted. I
Okay.
wanted, and I have confidence that my team, that split team management, that Brian Cohen, that Overtime Boxing. You know, we're gonna make it happen. And I'm not gonna rush. I'm not gonna push it, but I know we're gonna make it happen.
Okay. So everyone is working behind the scenes to help make that happen for you. And like for me, it's like this though. So of course there's Skye, and she's the one that has. Hey, she has the belt that you became a mandatory for. So that should be your target. There's some other fighters there. I know. I think you were referring to her fighting the rumors of her fighting Raven Chapman,
She's a
right?
great fighter. Raven Chapman is a wonderful fighter.
Yeah. So do you think like if Skye were to fight her, right? Like, and Skye loses, do you think Raven would fight you?
Well, from what I'm told, and see, what people have to keep in mind is fighters, we're told things from our teams, right?
Okay.
We're not talking to the other fighter. We're not talking to the other fighter's promotional team. We are told certain things, and I was told that my team requested Raven Chapman to fight me, and it was declined. That's what I was told. So, however, if she is to beat Skye, then whoever has the WBC belt, I'm your mandatory. I don't care if Jesus had it. We fighting.
Lord forgive her.
Lord, I love you, but this is all fair game. It's all for the sport.
You should have fought for the belt, Jesus, right?
Yeah, you shouldn't have.
But so my thing is this, right? Obviously, I don't even know if Serrano's going to come back. She's going to have that big fight with Katie Taylor, and I don't even know what's going to happen with that.
Yeah.
Are you looking to stay at featherweight for a while? Like, is this
Actually, I
like
just want all the belts at featherweight. And
okay?
then I look to go up to 130 pounds because there's some hard, heavy hitters. There's some great fighters at 130 pounds. And I just look to dominate 126. And then after I dominate that, I'll look to dominate 130.
Okay. And I've heard Skye talk about that's what she wants to do. She wants to become undisputed, right? And now that's what you want to do. So it'll be a very interesting thing to see you both fight. Do you worry at all that she might? Because I see this happen. I see it happen in a lot of women's boxing. Like this whole like, well, get a belt first and then I'll fight you. Like I know you're the mandatory, but I still see fighters do that. Do you worry she might do that to you? Like say, like, well, go get a belt and then we'll do unification or something.
And see, that's the thing. All the belts are being held up right now by Amanda. So how would I get another one? If Amanda has all the other belts and she's going to fight, she's getting, she's got this fight coming up and next weekend. I believe it's next weekend, July 20th. And then she has the Katie Taylor fight. So I'm not sure like how long the sanctioning bodies will let her hold the belts. However, if that would be the case, how would I fight her, Skye Nicholson, if she's demanding I have a belt, if the belts are being held up by someone else?
Right, 100%. So because I don't know if you had noticed that so Mio Yoshida did that to Metcalf, right? Like,
Yeah.
we'll get a
And I don't
belt.
even think that should be allowed. I mean, come on.
And now that one is just embarrassing because Metcalf beat her, and then she coming off a loss wins the belt. She's like, no, well, I won't fight her unless she gets a belt. Like, are
Right.
you kidding me? What? That's
I
weird.
think, see, the thing about boxing, you can other sports, right? You lose, you lost. The NBA, you lost a game. Okay, you lost a game.
Mhm.
NFL, you lose a game. Okay, you lost a game. UFC, I love UFC because of this. Like, they can have fighters that lose and they're still the best in the world. They're still hot commodity. With boxing, boxing is just that sport where you lose and it's like people forget about you. People crap on you. They say the worst of the worst things about boxers just because they lost a fight. Like, so what? The greatest boxers of all times have several losses on their records. And we're talking about old school boxing now because of the Floyd Mayweather era. Everyone is afraid to lose. And then once they do lose, the fans just crap on them. And that's not right.
No, I agree with you. And you talk about the legends. Some of them have devastating losses, not just
Devastating
losses.
losses, knockouts where they were asleep.
Yeah.
you know, and they come back and they're still great. They're still the best fighters of Loma Chingo is my favorite fighter. He will always be my favorite. I love him so much. You know, he's got losses. And
Yeah.
in my eyes, he's still the best.
Well, in my eyes, he definitely won a Haney fight. It's my opinion.
Definitely did.
But it is what it is, you know. But and the one thing about like in the old days, they were more active. So
These people,
people,
these professional fighters were fighting 100 fights,
yeah, well, because they fought so
15
often.
rounds.
Yeah, like they fought so often that people understood, like, you know, styles make fights. And just because this fighter beat that fighter doesn't mean the other one
Yep.
can. You know, it is what it is. Kind of like Frazier beat Ali, and then
Yep.
Foreman destroyed Frazier, just annihilated him.
Destroyed.
Right, and then Ali knocks out Foreman. Like what? Like, it is what it is. Like it's just styles make fights. So, and I think I always felt though, like in women's, if there was one thing about women's boxing for the longest time was a lot of these girls that jumped, like Christy Martin jumped up like 3 weight classes to go fight Layla Ali, like which
Yeah.
is like crazy, but she did
Crazy.
it. Like you know what I mean? Like it's whatever, just to try to fight the best. It didn't
Yeah.
matter. And now it seems like, while I do think women's boxing has made progress, right? I do. There is still some like I'm
Mm,
starting to notice some of the issues we have in men's boxing starting to creep over to women's boxing. I'm just starting to notice it. Like a lot of the politics, for example. I'm
yeah.
start I'm starting noticing a lot of imbalances on who gets opportunities and who doesn't. And like in men's boxing, some of these women are getting title shots after a loss. Now, I know we just talked about winning, losing shouldn't matter in terms of how the fans see you, right?
Right.
But I
Right.
still think you should have to bounce back from a loss in order to
I
earn a
agree.
title shot,
I
right?
agree. And I don't think you should get a title shot after having 5 fights. No. That's
Yeah,
come
right.
on. That's like saying, okay, in the NFL, you win 1 game, you're going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Huh.
it's because you're skipping the line
You're
of girls
skipping
that
the
have been,
line.
yeah, like they've been putting the work in, and you just skip the
Skip the
line.
line. You line skippers.
Right. It causes an imbalance with like a hierarchy that's like you're not establishing a hierarchy, right?
And then a lot of people who already don't too much like women's boxing, then when they see that, it really just turns their taste buds completely off even more than they were.
Yes. Because people notice it, like the people, and then nowadays everyone has this, right, Tiara? Everyone has a phone now.
Everyone has
So
fun.
so a girl's fighting somebody, like people aren't stupid. They could just go to BoxRec. They could type the name of the boxer, and they look at their opponents. It shows them the records. Like people know who you're fighting.
Yep.
You can't, like, what are we doing? You know what I mean?
Yep.
So that's that. Look, you are where you are, though. Here you are, mandatory, miss mandatory, right? Um, are you going to try to get a stay busy fight in between, or just going to wait
I
it
don't
out?
want to stay busy fight. I want to go straight to the WBC.
Okay.
However, I doubt Skye does that. And I'm not going to sit back and wait. I got a momentum. I'm on fire right now.
Hmm.
So if I'm forced to have a stay busy fight, I'll take a stay busy fight. However, I don't want that. I want to fight for the belt my next fight, which is supposed to be September.
Okay. Did it give you that date?
Yes. I think it's the
Okay.
end of September. I know for sure I'm fighting in September. Hopefully, it is for the WBC belt. However, right now, since Mrs. Nicholson has the belt, I don't see her fighting me in September. She's already making excuses to fight someone else.
Will you take an interim title fight?
I would take an interim. I would, yeah. There's nothing wrong with it. I don't think there's anything wrong with interim belts.
Sure. So the reason I asked her if you have faith in the WBC, right? I'll be very transparent because it's out there. It's not a secret. I'm not the biggest fan of Mauricio Suleiman. Okay, but love the belt, love the history of WBC. I'm just not
Right.
a fan of some of the politics he plays. And because I seen guys, look, Canelo's my favorite fighter, but bro, you haven't fought a mandatory in since 2021. Like, it's time. Like, you know what I mean? It is what it is. Like, David deserves a shot. You know what I mean?
I do think David deserves a shot, and I think that is the fight the fans want to see.
Yeah, but you see how long it's been.
Yeah.
Like it now. Granted, Skye's not Canelo; she doesn't have that leverage.
All right.
But she's fighting in empty arenas. They could tell me all day that she fights all over the world. Yeah, on empty arenas. Like
Yeah.
it is what it is. So if she fights you, I'm sure there'll be people in the crowd, right? So I'm being petty a little bit. Can you tell? Just
It's okay with a little. You can always use a dash of pettiness. Yeah, you can, especially in boxing. There's nothing wrong with a hint of pettiness.
But I'm just matching her energy, or the way she talks to people. You know what I mean?
Because the way she talks, she'd act like she Queen Kong around here.
That's right. You know, but hey, I just look at the situation with WBC and I say, what do they just keep dangling you around and just like, oh, one more mandatory, Tiara, and then we will go ahead and do it, or what do they give you an interim and just kind of like hope you kind of stay content with that and don't bother Skye, or because it's sometimes they do that with interim belts. Like Adamas was kind of comfortable just being interim champion while Charlo didn't fight for 3 years, for example.
Yeah, bump that. Like I said, I'm confident in split team management, Brian Cohen, and especially overtime boxing. And I'm confident that the WBC is going to do what they said they were going to do. You know, I can't speak for other fighters, but I'm confident in the WBC. They've always done me right. Even outside of boxing, when I got the humanitarian award as a police officer during COVID, you know, it's like, wow, you guys were thinking about me out of all these people around the world. You know, it's just, I think they like my character. I think they like my values and my morals and what I stand for. So I think that, well, this is just my thought process. I'm not a genie. I can't read minds, but I just think that they appreciate my loyalty to the sport. And so I think they'll do what I think they'll try to do what they said they would. Now, Eddie Hearn, on the other hand, with Skye, money talks, and I don't know if he's like, it seems for the men he wants to see the best of the best fight, right?
Sure.
But maybe when it comes to some of his other female stable, maybe he doesn't want to see the best of the best. I'm not really sure.
Well, I guess it comes down to even everyone's like this. He's asking himself, what's in it for me?
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, well, is Tiara? Let's say he has faith in Skye that she could beat you, right? But he knows there's a risk. So that if he beats Skye, if Tiara beats Skye, what is in it for me? Like that must be what he's thinking, right? So I mean, but that's his problem. Like, you know, we gotta get this fight going. You know what I mean?
We gotta get this fight for the fans. Like, we have for the fans. We have to do it for the fans. Everything is for the fans. Everything is for the fans. Like, these are the people who are listening to the podcast right now. These are the people who spend their money that they work hard for to travel and watch us fight. You know, who spend their money to watch us fight on TV. Like, the fans. It's for the fans, bro. We need if athletes without fans, you're just people playing sports. Like, imagine if no fans ever watch sports. What?
Look, I mean, it's. I remember I was watching an old, like, sometimes I watch some of these old school interviews, and I saw one of Pernell Whitaker, right? And the way he talks about the fans, he talks about them in a very high regard and how important they are, and the way you're talking about fans right now, I'm gonna be a lot of your peers don't talk the same way about fans.
Yeah,
like there's a lot of in my opinion, a lot of condescending tones towards the fans, right? For whatever reason, I get that. Look, of course, fans in general, not a lot of fans know what they're talking about, but in general, are going to say a lot of ignorant things because they're not professional.
Right, and you got a lot of fans who they're just they have. let me choose my words wisely because I'm sure I'm
Because
gonna get ate up. I'm sure I'm gonna get ate up by a bunch of fans off the podcast, right? But it comes with territory. And I know a lot of boxers, they get upset with the fans because sometimes the fans cross the line. But that's not just boxing fans, it's sports fans in general. Sometimes they cross the line, they say very mean and hurtful things. Like, yeah, we're boxers, but we're still people.
true.
I have a heart that's beating, that I'm emotional. I get depressed sometimes, I get sad, I get anxious, and sometimes you have fans who they have no chill. For instance, Shakur,
Mhm.
the fans, they dogging him right now because of his fight that he just had, and
Yeah.
I don't know if that's how he fights, that's how he fights.
True.
Mike Tyson said a long time ago, right? He wants to win. He was like, he don't care how he does it. He don't care about nothing. He said he don't care about no jab. He don't care about no plan. He said, as long as I win, it's about winning. So when people say Shakur is boring, granted, he's not. We're not gonna be on our edge of our chair, right? We're not gonna
Right.
be on the edge of our chair for his fights. But it's like, ooh, like, okay, he's smooth, he's slick, he's calculated. Some fans like it, some fans don't. They cross the line with things that they say sometimes, So I get why a lot of people will be mad with the fans, like Clarissa, who just beat up the girl. I know you saw the video.
Yeah.
She beat the fan up, who was talking trash.
I
Sometimes,
wasn't. I don't feel. It's one of those like I don't like it, but it's. I'm not saying she didn't have it coming, but
she had it
I
coming
I
with me.
just I just don't like. I don't think a professional boxer like I don't know it.
I
Everyone
wouldn't have done it.
knows you could beat up the fan. It's not, you
Right.
don't have to do it
Right.
to show
You
it.
don't
Like,
have
we know
right,
you can.
right, right, right. But
Um.
sometimes fans cross. Now I don't know what
Yeah.
the lady was saying to her, but
Yeah.
obviously she must have said something that just cut too deep. Sometimes the
Yeah.
fans do that. They say things that just cut so deep to where you wanna,
I
hey,
seen it happen. Like I know. I saw a video. This was a while back. Sonny Edwards beat up some dude. Like
Mike, for instance, remember when Mike Tyson was on that airplane, that guy kept poking the
yeah.
bear?
Yeah.
You got what you were looking for. You did. You did.
Yeah. Yeah. He wailed away at that dude for sure. Um. Yeah, like leave the dude alone. What are you doing? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
But
but
as far as me, I love my fans, and even
for
the
sure.
ones that are that critique and say just mean and hateful things. Because it's like, guess what? You still watching me. You're still
Right.
watching. You're still watching. I still got some likes. I still got some views because of you. So hey,
Yeah, look, obviously, yes, there's going to be fans that cross the line and go overboard, right? There's no doubt about that. But I do find that sometimes, like it's going to come with a territory because not
it is.
everyone who
It does.
watches, not everyone watches an expert. They're just a regular Joe. Like,
Regular Joe, regular
like
person watching boxing.
so they say something like, I'm not talking about necessarily the mean things are inexcusable, but
Right.
that's because you're doing that on purpose. But I'm just saying
Right.
that when they say ignorant things, like things that that don't make sense, or you as a boxer, like, well, that doesn't make sense, but he's just an average dude. Like, what does he know?
Yeah.
But I just think people take that too personal. Like, well, he's
Yeah.
just an average Joe. He's not an expert.
Right.
It's,
Exactly.
but he is a viewer, though. He is a paying customer,
Pay customer. Pay
right?
customer.
And I think that needs to be valued to a certain degree, and I don't think most boxers do.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with you 100%. Most boxers, they don't. They don't.
Yeah. And one can argue it's not even like, look, it's like it's a toy street. It's not the fans' job to understand the sport, just to watch it and pay, I guess.
Yep.
Hopefully, y'all over there aren't pirating and paying, right? But and it's the boxer's job to go in the ring and do what they got to do, right? So it's no one really needs to understand each other. So, but because everyone's doing their end of the bargain. I want your opinion on this though, because I had my opinion. I had a strong opinion about it. What did you think of ESPN showing the
Oh,
fans leaving the arena in a Shakur fight? Because I personally don't have a problem with it, but I want your take on it.
hmm. So was it there? I'm trying to get a good angle.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think that they were adding a little Mrs. Dash of hate to the mix,
Like, okay.
because I'm not an expert. I don't know what's going on. I know that he's not re-signing with Top Rank, correct?
He's not.
So maybe they were trying to throw some shade, on him. Like, okay, well, you got your fans leaving the fight. And then somebody took a picture of some people sleep, but I think they were actually blinking.
I don't know.
I think they were blinking. I don't think they were actually asleep. But I think that it was a dash of pettiness. But hey,
Okay.
whatever, it happens. This is boxing.
Well, let me ask you this: if you were in front, like if that was your fans and they were leaving,
Oh, I up the oh. If I hear a single boo in the crowd, whatever I'm doing, I gotta do it 20 times better. I cannot make my fans lose interest. No, no, it's not happening.
yeah.
Mm-mm.
Because what I found astonishing is this is his hometown.
Yeah,
These were his fans, and here's the thing: like they were cheering, going crazy for the earlier fights, right?
yeah.
And obviously, like most of them were still there, but like there was enough of them leaving to where they could make like a scene. And now so you think that if he had resigned, that there's no way they would have panned the cameras?
There's no way if he had resigned, they would have they would they wouldn't have shown that. No way possible.
They would
No
have had
way.
security. You can't leave. Where y'all going? Like, sit your
Yeah,
ass
that's
down.
right. Sit down. We got security back here. You better sit down. Where you going? Yeah, I just
If
think
you walk
I
out
think
there,
that
we got Tiara Brown waiting for you to walk out right now. Like,
yeah, like she out there. She's
they'll beat you up if you leave this fight right now. Okay, let me go sit down.
I think that's what happened. I think both sides are unsatisfied. It's like a marriage, divorce, breaking up. At the end of the day, they're human. He's human. He doesn't want to be with them. They would like him to stay. It's just sometimes you have to part ways, but it's not. It's easier said than done. There's emotions, you know.
Sure. Well, I actually tweeted out. I said, "Look, there's always a silver lining to everything." So Shakur turns down 15 million for 5 fights. That's 3 million guaranteed per fight. Okay. Um, but that's his choice. Like you know what I mean? Top Rank has a right to offer what they want. He has a right to refuse. It looks like he's going to meet up with Eddie Hearn. Maybe it'll work out for him. I don't know. Right?
This
Maybe
is
he
my
gets a
thing. What was he getting before? They offered him 3 mil for 5 fights.
yeah.
What
Well,
was he getting before?
I'm not
Do we
sure.
know?
I think it was around that ballpark though. Like
Well, then
he
I
was
have to agree with him. If I'm getting 3 mil, which women don't get that because, which I wish we did, like that should be a topic. Someone, well, why can't women get at least 1 mil or half a mil? We don't even get that.
mm.
I think if he was already getting 3 mil,
Well,
then
don't
yeah,
quote me on that. But I think it was
or even
around the
the ballpark, right?
yeah.
Let's say if he that's like working for a company and never getting a raise. Who's going to do that?
Okay. So you think and look, at the end of the day, it might work out for him, and maybe Eddie Hearn offers him more, or he gets some type of deal or something. I don't know. Maybe he gets a tank fight, and then like you know what I mean. And that's a pay per view, so
Now that would have to be a good fight.
it has to be. I agree. We're gonna see where it goes, or
Yeah.
maybe he just wants to go fight by fight. Maybe he doesn't want a long term contract. Maybe it was more about that. I don't know, right? But I do know this. The silver lining is overall that means Top Rank has $15 million in their budget right now for the next few years.
Fine.
That's extra cheddar, extra money. Like because of course said no to it. So like you got it right there. So I tweeted out like, well,
Yes,
and
sir.
it actually touched on what you just touched on a little bit ago, and it was, you know how many fights you can make with that money? Like you know how many fighters
Yep.
will take that a
Half
6-digit,
mil,
7-digit payday.
7 digit.
Like and some even responded to me. on that post and said, yeah, like they could sign more female fighters and they can
Yep.
make more women fights.
Yeah.
They only have 2 women fighters,
That's it.
and Michaela Mayer doesn't even fight on top rank cards anymore. She's fighting over there in the UK now. So
Yeah. Which is weird.
yeah, like so well, that's where the money is, I guess, for her. You know what I mean? It makes it easy for Bob. You know, like it's just. But now they got this extra money, so here's an opportunity, I believe, to increase the women's market for American fighters in the U.S.
Yep.
Right?
I agree. Yep.
And they don't even need to spend the full $50 million.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
You could take half of that and invest on women title fights,
Yep.
or high level women fights, right? To put on ESPN, whether it's a pre-main. So look at that Tinis Estrada fight against Valle. It was a pretty big deal,
Yep.
right? On an undercard fight. So it's just something that they could work on, quite frankly.
Yeah,
You know?
I agree. And I love watching her fight.
Yeah, for sure.
It's awesome.
Yeah. So do you think American promoters, or let me rephrase that. What do you think? Why do you believe American promoters just don't want to invest in
And
women boxing the way they have in the UK?
I think that's the question everyone wants answered, actually.
Even Australia, like they're starting to put the Australian women on big cards over there. And you know what it's doing to it's turning what's supposed to be world class boxing. It's turning it into like some regional belt,
Yep.
because it's all a bunch of UK girls fighting for these world titles.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I think that the American promoters should be doing more. I mean, but shout out to Overtime Boxing because it seems like they love women's boxing. I think that maybe these promoters who have been around for so long, maybe they should take a page out of the Overtime's book. And they're new, but they're caring about women's boxing.
Mm-hmm. Well, the counter would be, well, in the United States, there's no money in women's boxing, and this, that, and the third. But I actually do think they can do something positive. Like it's like a scratch my back, I'll scratch yours type of thing.
Yep. Yep.
I think if they put the women boxers on and give them an opportunity, right? They're going to put on a show. They're going to put on some great fights and it could be great for TV, right?
Yep.
It could help enhance some of these undercards that they're putting. I mean, I don't have anything against the guy, but like they're putting Ali's grandson against some dude nobody knows, and it's like,
Listen. It's stuff like that that makes you mad.
yeah,
It's stuff like that what type of amateur career did he have? What type of career has he had? Who has he fought? But certain promoters are willing to put that on TV than high-ranking women's boxing. Look at the WNBA right now.
mm-hmm.
They're on fire. And
Yeah.
all it took was a little oof. All
With
those
Clark
women
and Reese and yeah.
balling. All it took was a little oomph. The money that those girls got when they came out of college is like, wow. And now they are bringing so many more views to the WNBA.
I'll tell you right now, Caitlin Clark, ring sites, not ring. I'm a boxing fan. Court site seats, are they put a lot of these so-called big boxing match ringside seat prices to shame.
Yeah, they do.
And this is a regular game.
Regular,
You know what I mean?
regular game.
Yeah.
These girls be balling. Now they have you on the edge of your seat.
100%.
And all it took was someone to believe in them that they could do it. All it took was someone to give them a platform, and they balled out.
100%. And I just think that's what it needs. It's kind of like the UK was the same at one point.
Yep. And now look.
Yeah, like you just have to give them the opportunity, and
Yep.
there you go. I'm just noticing, like in Australia, they're trying to put women title fights. Before they wouldn't even televise the women fights over there. Now they're doing it. In the UK, they're doing it, and I just feel like, why are we so behind over here? And all it's doing, I'm seeing a lot of American boxers get frozen out because of it.
Frozen out. Frozen out. Come on, like someone, you guys gotta get it together. But see, that's why I feel so appreciated from Overtime Boxing, right? You
Sure.
have me, who I've been boxing for over half of my life. And when I turned pro, I got no attention. It was just wasn't a good period of my life until now. Signing with Overtime Boxing, my social media fans have grown drastically, in this little bit of time. They're always giving me shout outs. It's a great feeling when you're in America and you're getting all these new American fans and people actually know who you are now.
100%. And look, I think a lot of big things are coming, and those that know. If I remember you sent me that clip, it was like over a year ago of Clarissa Shields, and she like shouted you out, saying you're like the biggest secret in boxing right now.
And she's not the only one that said it. Clarissa Shields said it. Shadaza Green said it. Amanda Serrano said it. And I got the receipts for all of them. And all these women are saying I'm the best kept secret. Amanda is one of the greatest female fighters in the world. Top 2, actually. And she said it. And it's just I'm a very patient person. I think God works in ways that his timing is always in his moment. Like it's always on. God's time is always on time.
Right.
Because in my view, I should have been a world champion a long time ago. I trained 3 times a day. I'd be tired. There's been moments in my life where I'm like, God, I know you didn't set me up to fail. Like, because if you did, why did you put this passion in my heart to continue to keep boxing? But now it's like, this is my time. This is my time, and I'm not gonna let anyone take it away from me. And it's just, I know I'm gonna be successful, and I know I'm gonna be the next featherweight champion of the world. I know that. I know that.
Listening to you talk about all the work you put in, everything you sacrifice, all the weight you put, waiting, just trying to be patient, having faith in the course. When somebody who, if we just keep it 100, was kind of given everything on a silver platter, right? Like a Skye Nicholson. When she says things like, she's relevant, she hasn't even done anything.
Mm-hmm.
From a not so much from a competitor standpoint, because then you already answered that. You're like, well, if nobody fight me, then I get that. But just from like a human level, like how does that make you feel when like a peer of yours is saying something like this when she should know better?
She should know better. But like you said, when you're spoon fed and you've never had to struggle and you've never really had to dig deep and grind and work hard for something because things have been handed to you, you don't know. You don't know. It's very ignorant of her to say the things that she has said. But at the end of the day, she doesn't know what it feels like. She doesn't, because she's never had to go through it, and she never will because of who she signed with, right? So it's disturbing. For instance, Franchon Cruz. Look at all the stuff she goes through. She's gone through. You know what I'm saying? And she hasn't fought in how long? I know she was just complaining a few weeks ago about that on her social media. And I feel for her. I feel for her, who she's watching others get opportunities that she does deserve them. She deserves them. But when certain people are spoon fed, Skye will never understand. She will never understand because she's spoon fed, she's disrespectful, and that's just, it is what it is. It is what it is.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? So you do you think she knows better? Or you think she's just
I think she knows better, but she
can't be
doesn't
empathetic?
care.
She doesn't understand it.
I think she just doesn't care
Okay.
because it will never affect her, and she will. So you have to be able to show sympathy and empathy, 2 different things. She can never place herself in my shoes. So that's why it's just like she'll say whatever she wants to say until I punch her in her face. Since we're
Well,
just being real.
and that's when the
Until
competitor comes out, right?
right, the competitor comes out like
Because
until she's gonna have to one day glove up, and I'm gonna glove up, and I'm gonna beat the brakes off her. I'm gonna knock her block off. That's just what it's gonna be, because all the things that I feel the disrespect and the whole you've been given every single thing that you have. I try to be as humble as I can be. That's why I don't talk reckless on social media, because I know I have a large platform. I'm the head coach of the Fort Myers PAL boxing team. My fighters look up to me. I'm their role model. So I try not to get reckless with the things that I say. But there's going to come a day where I'm looking Skye in her eyes and we're standing toe to toe. And then everything that she said, I'm going to make her eat every last word. She's going to have her breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snack in between.
man, sounds like she's gonna gain some weight after that fight.
Understand?
How much? Can give her a whole buffet.
Hey,
How she-
she might get a golden corral. I don't know. Hey, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
And the crazy, it doesn't have to get this ugly though. You know what I mean? Like that's the crazy part. You know, what's wrong with just saying, yeah, I'll fight it. Just say I'll fight anybody. I'll see her when I see her. Just see that.
Right.
I don't
I'll
know.
fight anybody. You don't have to, but it's okay. She says what she says. She's gonna have to stand on it.
So all she's doing is fueling you.
She fueling me. So I
And,
listen.
and when that time comes, like right, and you're standing across the ring from her, and you know, is there's no worry about controlling your temper, or like just seeing red or something and not fighting. Like, could it just be? I'm not saying she's thinking this deep into it, but could it just be like a ploy to when you do finally fight, you're just gonna fight emotional instead of
But see, that's what
tactical?
she got. She if that is her ploy, she's sadly mistaken. Because I take boxing so serious. I don't when I'm in that ring, it's about business. It's about business. And I have to prove to you that I'm better. And I'm gonna prove to her that I'm better.
Yeah.
That's just what it is. Like my last fight, the girl said she's fought people way better than me. You didn't win
Oh,
a
she had.
single round. You didn't win one round. You've won rounds against everyone else you fought. You didn't win no rounds with me.
Hold on, I got the lie detector results. The lie detector
Yeah.
determined that was a lie. Um,
And then,
I knew that was a lie when she said it too.
yeah, the way it was a boxing clinic.
Hmm.
It was a boxing clinic. However, I made 79 mistakes because according to the punch count, she hit me 79 times. So that's 79 mistakes that I made.
It's like that. You got to go back and you feel like you got to go back and fix that because it wasn't perfect enough.
It wasn't perfect enough.
Okay, man. So that's why you're always working because
That's why I'm always
no one's perfect. So
no, it's perfect. I gotta keep working. I was listening to the commentators. They were like, "Is she breathing?" The thing about me is, I train so hard to where when I'm fighting, I want you to think that I'm coasting because I was coasting.
Hmm.
I want to get broke down. I want to get battered, beaten, all in the gym, all that training. So when it is time to fight, I can put on the best show for the fans, and I can do it in a spectacular fashion.
Shit, I can say that again. You mentioned a couple of things. You coach a team. Talk to us about that.
Oh, I'm the head coach for the Fort Myers PAL, the Police Athletic Boxing Team. I grew up in
Okay.
the PAL. I just think that it was fitting that I give back to the community like that. I have about 30 kids and I train them every day. We train Sunday to Sunday. There's no in betweens.
Whoa.
It is what it is because to be the best, you have to do things others don't want to do. You have to do things that people know that people that you know they aren't doing. You
Sunday
know,
to Sunday.
Sunday to Sunday, birthdays, holidays, funerals, whatever.
Yo, man, that's some hardcore stuff.
because
There you
I know
go.
there's gonna come a time where I'm gonna need that. There's gonna come a time where I'm gonna need that everyday grind, that everyday hustle. It's gonna come a time, and when that time comes, I'm going to be ready.
When the time comes, you will. Okay. So you do that work, and if we could just go back a little bit, or more than a little bit, what got Tiara Brown into the sport of boxing? How did you start getting into this crazy world of boxing? Well, what made you say, "Yeah, I want to throw punches with people"?
Well, actually, I had two of my cousins were boxers, right?
Mhm.
I played basketball, I ran track, I ran cross country, and they were boxers. So we used to always watch on the VHS. I'm old, so yeah, I said VHS. We used to watch the fights as a family. We used to just sit around the TV, watch them box, and I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool. I think, it would be good to keep me in shape for basketball. That was my passion.
Okay.
And I started boxing to stay in shape for basketball. I used to get beat up. My cousin, she used to beat the brakes off me, but I was like, whatever, it is what it is. But then I started getting good. Like I started getting real good to where I started beating her up, Then I was like, oh, I like this. We get to fight and you get trophies, and growing up where I grew up, you get in a fight, you're getting in trouble. Boxing, you can fight and it is what it is. You just, hey, you get trophies and medals and stuff. And so I just continued to box. It wasn't actually it wasn't until 2009 is when I knew, like, okay, I'm really good. Like I'm really good, because that was the year. Back then his name was Patricia Manuel, but now
Mhm.
it's Pat Manuel. So back then, Pat was the number one in the nation, and she, well, back then it was she, now it's he. I want to be politically correct. So,
Okay.
but back then she was number one in the nation, and it was my first time going to the USA National Championship, right? And I was like this little itty bitty thing, but that was when they said they were gonna put the weight class 132 in the Olympics. So I'm like, all right, let me try to fight with these girls that are like way bigger than me. I was like 120,
Oh
trying to
wow.
fight 132 girls. I was like 126, 125. And I made it to the championship and she dogged me. But I knew I was good because at the end of the fight, she was like, I respect you. You're the only girl I didn't drop. Like, she did not knock me out. I'm talking about she was dropping everybody with body shots and all that. And then little old me, I hung with her. She gave me 2 8 counts. Thank God, because I needed those 8 counts, because the way she was hitting, you would have thought it was some bricks in her gloves.
Man.
But I made it through the fight, and that's when I knew, like, all right, I think I'm good for real.
Okay. All right. And after that, it was all she wrote. You just
That was
stuck
it.
to it, and you've been working every day ever since.
Every day I've been working.
Man, when's the last day you just chilled, just relax and
Relax.
just
See, my
relax at the
brain
beach?
doesn't even allow me to relax.
Okay.
It's just because all I
So
do is, like, when I'm home, I'm watching cartoons or boxing. So then if I'm watching boxing and then I see them working out, I'm like, I need to go to the gym and do what they just did. Like, I got to try it out.
okay. What are some Tara Brown's favorite male and female boxers right now, besides yourself, of course?
Well, we can start with the men. Like, I will stay up all night if Loma's fighting, of course. If Tank's fighting, if Bud is fighting, my crush, Boots Ennis, if he's fighting, I'm gonna watch. I think I'll stay up to watch those guys fight.
Okay.
Women, if Katie's fighting, of course Amanda, if she's fighting, I'm gonna stay up and watch it. Savannah Marshall, I love watching her fight. Let's see, stay up to watch.
Skye Nicholson.
I'm going slap to sleep. Sky's on, I'm going to sleep. I'll look at it when someone sends it to me. Uh,
Yeah.
but to stay up, women's fighting, I think those are my go-to girls that I like.
She's the go-to
Sinicia,
girls.
I love watching Sinicia fight.
Yeah, she's fun to watch for sure.
She's fun to watch. I'm talking about that little man. She like a firecracker when she come out.
Yeah, it's like a little bumblebee. It's it's quick, punches hard for that weight class too. So can't deny that.
And Clarissa,
Tiara,
of course, Clarissa. But I do want to
sure.
touch on Jessica McCaskill, right? I loved watching her fight because she's like a female Mike Tyson. But did you see she just retired?
No, I did not.
Mm-hmm.
She just
So I
retired.
guess maybe like 3 days ago, I saw
Okay.
it on a podcast.
Oh wow. Okay, it's the first time I
I'm
heard
like,
about it.
wow, like wow.
Jessica
But I
McCaskill's
haven't
calling it a
seen
day.
like I didn't. It wasn't like big news in the boxing where I'm like, wow, Jessica McCaskill is retiring. No one said anything. Like,
Well, she had that big upset victory over Cecilia Breakus. A lot of people didn't think she could win that fight. She did. She became undisputed champion at welterweight. Nobody could ever take that away from her.
right. I think she's gonna stick to coaching now. Which hats off to her. So I just wanted to say congratulations to her for that.
All right. Do you think maybe because boxers retire so often, but they don't really retire, that when there's an announcement, people are just like, yeah, okay. Like,
Well, nowadays because
yeah,
you got nowadays people
Shakur
retire.
retired. Remember when
He
he
retired
retired?
what last month and came back or last year and was
So
never gone.
I think that's what it is. I think with fighters as they're retiring, people are just kind of like, well, I don't want to like wish them well or wish them
Right,
well because like they're
right.
going to be back in a couple of months.
Yeah.
So someone's going to tell they're a fighter. Someone's going to be, hey, you want to fight for money? Sure. Like yeah, I got nothing. Like you know what I mean. Like so, I don't know. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Because Ryan retired like last week.
Listen, let's talk about him.
Let's talk about him.
Go ahead. You I'm gonna let you start it off.
Well, look, I think the guy. I'm going to be 100% honest. I'm just going to be brutal. I don't like Ryan Garcia as a person.
Oh man.
I don't. I think he's fake. I think he uses God's name in vain. I think he's a fake
Yeah.
Christian. I think it's disgusting how he does it. I think he makes up stories. I think he's a pathological liar, and I don't think he's got a good spirit. I just don't. I get a bad vibe from him. I judge everyone differently, personal or in the ring. He's exciting to watch in the ring. It is what it is. You know what I mean? But I don't. It's not going to influence how I see him as a fighter, right? But that's how I feel about him.
I just think that I don't know what's going on with him, Because I remember when he got baptized, I was like, amen to that. Especially for a young man, to just give his life to Christ, like praise God. But then he started talking crazy.
Yeah, I mean, what he's saying about Jordan
He,
Plant and
he be saying all types of stuff, but which leads me to think that maybe he actually is suffering from some sort of mental health issue. Because, for instance, schizophrenia runs in my family
okay,
on the male side. So normally it begins, I'm not a professional. I don't pretend to know everything about schizophrenia, but it runs in my family. And from the ages of like 19 to like maybe 24, 25 is when it like activates in them or something. I'm not really sure what they call it, but I feel like maybe he's going through something like that.
I have heard people say that. I don't personally know anybody. Like you're gonna know more than most just because you have people in your family that have it. But I don't personally know anybody that has that. If I do think he needs help, I don't know if you saw like Chavez Senior put a video out telling him like I've been where you've been, like go get some help, like kind of that was basically his message, right? But he's not. His dad came out and said he needs to get help, and he denied it. He's saying that his dad apologized to him. I just you saw what happened yesterday.
Mm-mm. Oh wait, did he get escorted out or something?
No, that was at the fight. That was one of the least things that happened. That was like nothing compared to other stuff. Um, I mean, he was arrested in destroying property in a hotel.
Oh yeah, but I never
And
saw the video
that
or
was like, that was like 2 weeks ago, and he had a motorcycle helmet on,
anything.
but there was no motorcycle around. Like was he
But
banging
see,
his head on stuff?
that's what I'm saying.
Well,
Maybe
I was going to ask you though, because you've been a police officer, right?
right.
Why do they put motorcycle helmets on people? To protect their head, or they're destroying stuff or something, or what? Or
If
that's
they're
just
having,
him?
you saying he had on his personal helmet or a cop did it?
No. We don't know what it was. We just know he was handcuffed, and he had a motorcycle helmet on. And everyone's like, "Why does he have a motorcycle helmet on? Did he have it on, like doing stupid
He
things
must
in the
have had
hotel?"
it on. He must have had it.
Okay, because people were saying he must have been banging his head on stuff, so they put a motorcycle helmet on him so he could stop banging his head on
But
stuff.
where would the cops get a random motorcycle
That's what
helmet?
I say. So that's not like some procedure to put a.
No.
Okay, all right. Hey, there you go. But like, I'm like, what? Like, what do you mean? Like, so there's that. But just yesterday, he wanted to see his kids after being all drunk, and it's his wife, but they're separated. They're going through a divorce.
Yeah.
I did like told him, well, no, not today. And she showed all the screenshots and the text, and he broke into the house, destroyed the property, like just destroyed stuff in the house. And she showed it all too, like everything. And then he goes on video telling her, why are you cheating on me?
No.
But they're separated.
Yeah.
And then he goes, yeah, we're separated, but you guys know how it is. Like, nah, Ryan, I don't know how that is. Like,
I don't know how that is done.
if you already broke up with her, you broke up with her, brother. What do you mean?
Break up with him.
What do you mean? Like,
I honestly think that he's suffering from some type of mental break and he
could
needs
be.
help. Yeah, he needs help. You know, we're gonna have to pray for him because come on, no one goes from just okay, fine to that. I think he's suffering
Yeah,
from some
it's
type of
like
mental break.
I love my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Okay, cool, Ryan. 5 minutes later, your wife sucked my dick.
Yeah, yeah, I was like,
What? Like,
what?
how do you go from that to this, brother? What's going on? I don't get it. You mentioned how he posted about him getting baptized and stuff, right? That same day, he's going at it like with people who went down to suck his privates. I mean, I'm just like, what are you doing? You were just baptized.
Yeah. Well, you know, he should have got double dip then.
They need to dip him some more.
Yeah.
He needs to be like drowned and then CPR on him and bring him back to life type of shit. You know, because it's a bit, it's a little too much for me, right?
Yeah. I feel bad for him. I'm not even about to lie. I feel bad for him.
I hope he
He's
gets
going
it
through
together.
something. He's going through something.
And then he's lying. He can't keep his story straight.
He lying though. Golly, I don't know what to say about the line.
Because you know he pops, right?
Yeah.
And he keeps changing the story.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, bro, you can't keep changing your story. Like you
I don't
say,
know if he even really know what happened.
possibly, but like just that's why lawyers thought to shut up.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I don't think he know what happened for real.
I don't think he knows either.
Mm-mm.
I just think I think he thinks he's smarter than what he is, and it's like, oh, that sounds good, and he just goes out there and says it to plead his innocence, and then people are like, well, you said this other shit the other day.
I'm trying to figure out he popped dirty, but how? Like normally we finally get a. It was this. This is how it was injected or whatever. Like what happened?
Well, here's what I'll say about Austrian. No, I'm no expert or nothing, but you saw that this have a warning out about Austrian and it being in just it's not on labels or nothing, but there's been contamination things in other sports, right? And that's possibly what it is. They just can't find the source of it, so they made one up, which is worse than like you should just say you don't know, right? I believe that's what it was.
Yeah.
Like I don't think he was injected with something.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't see Ryan doing that on purpose.
He didn't even look that like he was looking at the clock. He looked gassed.
Yeah, I don't see Ryan cheating on purpose. Like I just don't. I don't see him knowing. Okay, I'm about to take this Austrian. I don't see that. Not from him. Certain fighters, you just.
Now, don't get me wrong. If like
I
I
could be
get,
wrong, but
I get why Haney's mad, right?
I
But
get why. Yeah, I get why he's mad.
so it is what it is. But I just, he's in a service year. I don't like that they took his whole purse. That's
Oh,
insane. And
I've never seen that happen before, though. Have you?
like no, like just a week later Julio Cesar Martinez. It's a second time getting caught, 2 times,
Mm-mm.
multiple substances, anabolic steroid. We're not just talking Samasa and stuff. He got 9 months, and it took like 30% of his first.
That's what I'm saying. So why you took all of his money?
I think they wanted to make an example out of him because the way he was acting.
Yeah.
I think because of the way he was. It's kind of like if you don't like if a judge before you go to your hearing, you're not being respectful and cold, or you're being like you're accusing them of whatever, and then he's gonna lay the hammer on you more likely.
You're right. You're
That's why
right. He got that hammer, that Thor hammer.
when I've gone to court, it's your honor, yes
Your Honor,
sir, no
I'm
problem,
sorry. You're right.
whatever. You know what I mean? Whatever it takes away a couple
But
days, whatever it is, But Ryan was accusing them of corruption, and he was
yeah,
going to sue them. And what are you doing, Ryan? You know what I mean? I think that's why I don't think he knew because his first instinct was to accuse people
yeah.
of contempt. Like he was like saying Eddie Hearn did it. Like it's the crazy thing.
He had me looking at people like you did it to him. What you?
Yeah, and then the Bumgarner situation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We're gonna talk about that.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it was two of them, and they're anabolic. Now there is one thing though. They did take a long time to take one of those samples back to the lab. Like it took a while, and it's kind of like, why did it take so long, bro? Like you know what I mean? And I think that's the only reason she didn't get suspended or something. So, what
Mm-hmm.
do did you even think about that stuff yourself? Like about your opponents, if they may be on something, or
I don't ever think about that, and I think I'm real naive because then when people pop, I'm like, and then their excuse, I'm like, okay, well then it was with the meat. They said it was the meat or
Canelo?
the eggs or the air. The air had Austrian in it. I don't now. But being honest, now with all the messed up ingredients that they're putting in our stuff, you got the UK who actually cares. Like these things are banned in their food, but then here we
Mm,
are. The kids are 10 years old, but they 6'5", and it's like,
300 pounds.
who, man, look,
I was walking in Walmart the other day, and I saw a kid. I'm like, ain't no way this kid's heavier than I've ever been in my whole life, and he's 8.
the
Like
food, the
it's like,
food,
yeah, like what are we
the food,
doing?
they're injecting, and that's the thing. If you're injecting steroids and all this in the meat that these kids and people are eating, how is it not gonna get into people if you're injecting the meat with it?
Right,
I'm gonna stop talking about this because I don't want nobody to kill me or assassinate me. You know how they be hushing them
right.
people up who start talking about health issues. So I'm just gonna be quiet. Just delete that part out of the whole podcast. Just take it out. Take
Well,
it out.
what I'll say is this: I do think contamination is a real thing, but
Yeah.
I do think fighters also use it as an convenient excuse sometimes. So it's like half of them I believe, half of them I don't. Like it is what it is.
I think when it comes to a certain drugs that they have to be shot up for sure, it's
Like
no excuse. Anabolic,
anabolic steroids,
anabolic. It's no. I don't want to hear.
EPO,
I don't want to hear no.
HGH.
You didn't know nothing about it. If that's the only way it can get in your system, I'm not trying to hear you didn't know. You knew. You knew.
Yeah, like I have a friend that says the only thing he would be worried about is if they're taking EPO or HGH. right? Because of what that does, and it enhances performance. But I don't know. It's a weird game. It's a dirty game. We don't know what everyone says they're innocent when they get caught. So I don't even know what to believe sometimes. You know what I mean? So,
Right.
but I do think that sometimes if you as a fighter, right, look at a fighter and your first thing you say to yourself is, "Oh, they must be on something," right? To me, that's kind of like you're intimidated of that person.
Yeah.
Because like you could go in there already lost because
Yeah.
you're thinking they're on something,
Yeah.
right? If that's in your head, I'm not saying don't ask for testing or nothing like that, but it if that's already in your head, you know what I mean? Like it's like, why are you worried about that dude like that?
Right.
You know what I
Absolutely.
mean?
Yep.
It's like Mike Tyson when he asked Holyfield for testing. Holyfield's like, yeah, sure, okay.
Yeah. Right.
In the back of his mind, he's probably thinking like, oh, you think I was on steroids?
Yeah. You was intimidated.
Yeah.
You was
Do
intimidated.
you think that maybe that's what it is sometimes with fighters, like when they like start making accusations, maybe?
Yeah, because people have to keep in consideration everyone's body is different. Like I
Mhm.
be trying so hard to get so defined. I be lifting my waist like, why my little muscles aren't popping like this person? I be like, well, golly, I'm trying to do some curls. But at the end of the day, it's genetics.
Yes.
Everyone's body is not going to look the same. It's just not.
Look, I have a friend, and she just it's like she does one setup, and she's got like a six pack or something. I'm like, what's going on?
I know
And she
two
and then
girls right now. If you would think that they were on steroids, but they're not. Their genetics are like
yeah,
that, and
they're cut and
they're
yeah.
cut up like Hershey bar, you know.
Well,
But it's
which
just
makes sense because I seen fighters. I look at them like, man, they're in shape, and then like 2 rounds are tired.
tired.
I'm like, yeah, they're not in shape. They just
They're
look in
not even
shape.
saying they just look good. Like their body's just
Yeah,
genetics.
100%. Yeah. Which when I say very random, but what you think of Deloya's fake abs? Did you ever see that?
No,
He injected abs on himself.
what?
Deloya did. I don't know why. I'm just like,
How?
and he admitted to it.
But
I don't
how?
know. It's like a procedure they do. Like,
Don't do
you know,
that.
I don't know why he did it.
Ain't nobody. Who
In
did
his
it?
in his
Don't do that.
prime, he had like he had abs. Like it's like he could do it again, but
But
he took the
listen,
shortcut.
they get fake boobs, fake breasts, fake lips, fake abs.
I heard him on a podcast. He said something like, "Well, I got the money now," so I'm just like, "What are you doing?"
They getting fake teeth, fake abs.
Man, it is what it is. Tiara Brown. I want to thank you for coming on. Any final words you want to say before we wrap this one up?
I want to say if I offended anyone today in this podcast, I'm sorry.
Oh, there you go.
Sorry. There's my heart right here. I want to say, Skye, good luck on your upcoming fight. I hope you win. Just because I hope you lose. No, because if you do, then I'm not gonna want to fight you. So I hope you win. Shout out to Eddie Hearn, put the fight on. Shout out to Split T Management, of course, Bionic Bull, Brian Coheen, and Overtime Boxing. I got the best promoter in the game.
Well, there you go. Well, thanks for everybody listening. Thank you to Tiara Brown, and that'll be the show. Peace out.